the IA duration, inspection authorization durations. How long is your IA valid for? By the time we finish this, you should be able to describe the eligibility requirements for an IA, identify the minimum passing score at the written computerized IA exam, realize that an IA, there is no oral and practical exam, it's just going to be a written exam, and then we should be able to, by the time we're finished, explain the duration of the certification and when you can exercise that. The IA 6591, how do you earn or how do you become an IA? First and most important thing to remember about becoming an IA is it is an endorsement to your FAA Airframe and Power Plant certificate. It is not a separate license. It is just an endorsement to your existing license. To become an IA, you need to be certified for at least 3 years. You need to be actively participating as a mechanic for the past 2 years of those 3 years. You need to submit an FAA Form 8610-1. It needs to be signed by your local FSDO office before you begin the testing process. You need to have a fixed base of operation. You need to have equipment. You need to have facilities. You need to have an inspection area. And you also need to have passed the written exam. The IA, the 31st of March of every odd number year, so the 31st of March of 2017, 2019, 2021, your IA is going to expire. You need to renew that prior to the end of March, or you're going to restart the entire process, the entire testing process all over. There is not a grace period. If you let that expire, don't go to the FAA 3 months after it expires and say, oh, by the way, you're going to have to start the process all over. Your IA will cease to be effective if it is suspended, revoked, or surrendered. The technician, if you lose your fixed base of operation and you haven't notified the FAA of what your plans are to secure another one, you're going to lose your IA. The technician no longer has the required facilities, no longer has the tech data, no longer has the equipment. Again, you're going to lose your IA. Returned, suspended, or revoked certificates must be returned back to your local FSDO office. Options for renewing your IA certification. You need to perform an annual inspection every 90 days, a minimum. So that's once a quarter, you have to do an annual inspection. Or you have to do, let me rephrase that, you have to do an annual inspection, let's see, at least 8 in that 2-year period, because remember, we're doing it odd year to odd year. It doesn't necessarily have to be every quarter, but you have to show where you've done at least 8 annual inspections. That's the first one. All 4 renewal inspections could be conducted in 1 month, but you're going to have to remember that's 4 per year or 8 for that 2-year period. Performing a major repair or alteration every 90 days, or performing a progressive inspection. So there's some different ways that you can meet the requirements to keep your IA valid. Okay? Other options would be the completion of an 8-hour refresher course. That 8 hours of instruction needs to be once a year. Okay, it's typically going to be a single-day seminar that'll be combined with some classes and but we're going to talk 8 hours a day, 8 hours for 1 year, 8 hours once a year annual training. Or you could go to the FSDO and you could ask for a specific knowledge test with the FAA inspector, or the IA certificate if you have held it for less than 90 days. So if you get your IA certificate on the 1st of February of an odd number of years, say 2017, the 1st of February, you had gotten your IA certification, and it's due the 31st of February, the 31st of March, you're okay. You've had it for less than 90 days, so you're okay. But then after the 1st of March, the 31st of March, then your certification process starts over again. Okay. What are some of the privileges that you have as an IA? You can perform annual inspections. You can perform or supervise progressive inspections. You can approve aircraft part or appliances for return to service. Some of the stuff that you couldn't do as a mechanic, now you can do as an IA. Just as with your FAA certificate, your airframe power plant certificate, you need to keep this IA certificate in your area and available for inspection by the owner of the aircraft, A&P technician, FAA administrator, the NTSB, federal, state, local law enforcement officials, any of those folks that want to see that IA. So the problem lies when it comes time for renewal, you have to submit your IA certificate back to the FAA to get it renewed. So there could be a 2 or 3 week period while you're waiting for your certificate to come back. So again, something to think about. What are you going to do in that 2 week period when your IA certificate is at the FSDO during the renewal process? Is there some type of maybe you go down to the FSDO and do it, maybe they come out to your place and do it, just something to think about. We also, if you move your base of operation, if you move from one location to another, you're going to need to notify the FAA in writing. Recommend you do that before you begin your move. So in summary, to be eligible for an IA, we need to have at least 3 years experience with the recent 2-year activity as an A&P technician. You need to score at least a 70 on the IA exam. Remember, you only have to do a written exam to be an IA. You don't have to do an oral and a practical, just a written. And it is a pretty tough exam, so you're certainly going to want to study for that one. And your IA is going to expire the 31st of March on every odd year. So we said 2017, 2019, 2021, 2023. It's going to be suspended, or excuse me, it's going to expire. So you need to do all the paperwork to get it renewed